If you have never met someone who has money, beauty and pride all in one body, then you have not met Stella. She was 35 years old, tall like those runway models you see on TV, with her skin smooth like she was born inside a bottle of shea butter, and a figure that made even mannequins jealous. She lived in a big mansion in Lagos with a swimming pool that nobody swam in. Let's just say it was just for taking pictures. She had only one rule in life: I will never kneel for any man. To her, marriage was a cage and husbands were wardens. She would boldly tell her friends, why should I be answering yes sir to a man when I can pay the man's salary myself? And truly, she could. Her words was the kind that made people lower their voices when they mentioned her name. She owned boutiques, beauty spas and real estates. She didn't need anybody, or so she thought. But deep inside, there was one thing that kept her awake at night. No love and no marriage, but a child. She wanted to hear someone call her money. She wanted tiny feet running around her marble floor, but then there was a problem. The thought of her slim waist expanding, her hips spreading, and her perfect flat tummy turning into balloon was her worst nightmare. She would stand, running her hands over her belly and say, no way. I have suffered too much for this figure. Not even pregnancy can make me lose it. Yet, each time she saw children, her heart melted. So she began to think of how to have a child without destroying her body. She read articles and she asked questions secretly if it was possible to have a child without carrying it herself. One day, while she was sitting in her living room, her maid Mimi walked in with a tray of fruits and Stella looked at her. Young, healthy and strong. From there, a dangerous idea began to grow in her mind. She couldn't stop looking at her maid differently. Mimi was just 22, fresh from the village, and had the kind of natural beauty you only see when someone had never bleached their skin. And she was hardworking too. She woke up daily before her boss to do the house chores cheerfully and called Stella auntie in that sweet village tone that made Stella feel like a queen. One evening, Stella invited Mimi to sit in her room, something she had never done before. Mimi was confused. She stood at the edge of the expensive sofa, holding the hem of her uniform, and Stella told her to come closer and sit down. Auntie, here on this chair? She inquired. Yes, please sit down. Mimi sat down gently. Then Stella leaned forward, her voice low and serious. Mimi, how will you like me to change your life forever? Mimi's eyes widened. Change my life? Auntie, is it a visa? Better than visa, Stella replied. I want you to help me have a child. Mimi was confused. Auntie, please, I don't understand. Stella explained everything and lied that she didn't want to get pregnant herself because of her health. Meanwhile, she just wanted to protect her figure. She told her she had a special man seed ready in the fertility clinic and that all she had to do was carry the pregnancy for 9 months. She painted it like a fairy tale. Mimi, after you deliver my baby, I will give you a furnished apartment, 5 million naira, and you will never have to work as a maid again in your life. Mimi's mouth opened. She imagined herself living in an apartment with a fridge full of food, watching TV all day, wearing wigs and drinking malt as a madam. It sounded too good to be true, but the thought of 5 million naira made her forget to think twice. Auntie, if I agree, will you take care of me very well? Oh yes, like a queen. You will eat like a pregnant queen, Stella replied, and just like that, the deal was sealed. The next week, Stella drove Mimi to a fertility clinic that looks like a 5-star hotel. The procedure was done, and as they left, she placed her hand on Mimi's shoulder and said, Remember, no one must know because this is our secret. Mimi agreed, not knowing that the real drama was yet to come. For the first 2 weeks after the clinic visits, Mimi walked around the mansion like a woman carrying the crown jewels. She would touch her stomach gently and smile, thinking that this her belly was her ticket to a soft life. Stella, on the other hand, was already acting like she had personally conceived. She ordered imported fruits, maternity clothes, and many other things, not for Mimi but for herself, because her plan was simple. She would pretend to be the one pregnant from day one. One afternoon, she came downstairs holding a big shopping bag and said, "Mimi, stand up. I want to measure your waist." "Why, Auntie?" Mimi asked. "Don't ask too many questions. Just stand up," she replied. Stella took Mimi's measurements, but instead of buying her new clothes, she went online and ordered a premium silicone pregnancy bomb for a realistic look. When it arrived, she wore it immediately, took a few mirror selfies and posted it online. Her followers went wild. "Wow! Congrats, Stella. You will be the hottest mom ever." Meanwhile, the new pregnant woman Mimi was upstairs cleaning bathrooms and washing Stella's bedsheets. At first, Stella kept her word. She made sure Mimi ate good food and was very comfortable, and Mimi would call her mother in the village and boast, "Mama, very soon I'll be living in my own flat in Lagos and you will come over." But deep down, some things became a great concern to her. She noticed that Stella never allowed her to meet guests. Whenever visitors came, Stella would quickly send her upstairs, and she never allowed her to leave the house as well. She was posting a lot of pregnancy content online, holding her fake bomb, complaining about morning sickness, and pretending to crave pepper soup at night. One evening, she sat on her bed and said to herself, "What is this auntie even up to?" She didn't know that this was just the beginning, because soon Stella's performance will reach Oscar award level. Stella treated her silicone bomb like a baby before the actual baby. She had 2 sizes, the small one for the first trimester and the big one for the later stages. Every morning, she would stand in front of her mirror, strap the bomb on her flat stomach, adjust it until it looked natural, and smile at her reflection. Then she would take a photo or record a video. One day, she called her followers to join her pregnancy morning routine live section. She wore a maternity gown and had a glass of warm water. "Good morning, my loves," she began. "Motherhood is not easy. Oh. I woke up at 3 a.m. and it was to download hot air. This baby is already after my figure 8, but in reality, it was Mimi who had woken up at 3 a.m. not to eat but to mop the kitchen floor after Stella spilled juice and left it there. The funniest part was when Stella started staging pregnancy cravings. She called her driver and shouted, "Go and buy me roasted corn and pear from that woman near the 3rd roundabout. And if she had finished selling it, go to the next street." The driver went. Meanwhile, Mimi, the real pregnant woman, was upstairs wishing she could just get a cold drink without asking for permission. By the 3rd month of Mimi's real pregnancy, Stella's fake pregnancy had become a full-blown online project. Every week, she would post something dramatic. Sometimes it was a black and white picture of her holding the fake bomb with a caption like, "No one knows the battles a mother fights behind the smile. Pray for me, my loves." Her followers will flood the comments. "You are a strong woman, Stella. God will see you through." And the Tapas Association will comment, "I tap into your blessing." Some even sent gifts, baby clothes, toys, and expensive hampers. Stella will open them with tears in her eyes during live sessions and say, "I can't believe that people love me like this. Thank you very much. I promise to carry you all in this journey." At first, Mimi thought it was all harmless play acting, but as time passed, she began to feel invisible. She watched Stella's video of a day in my pregnancy life, where she herself was the one enduring the nausea, the back pain, and the cravings. She wanted to tell someone, but Stella's warning echoed in her head. If you ever tell anyone, you will regret it and the deal will be off. So she kept quiet. She told herself to just hold on, that very soon she will have her own apartment and the 5 million naira. By the 7th month of Mimi's real pregnancy, things in the mansion started changing, and not in a good way. At first, Stella was all sweetness and smiles, always asking Mimi if she wanted ice cream or shawarma or maybe a massage. But now, her tone had changed. One morning, Mimi was in the kitchen boiling yam while she walked in holding her fake bum like usual. "Why are you standing like a tired cow?" she asked. "Auntie, I am not feeling strong today," Mimi replied. "Come on, pregnancy is not sickness," she snapped. "Do you think I'm not pregnant too? I am still managing to do my work." Mimi almost laughed but held herself because her work was simply to lie on the couch and scroll through her phone. The first real crack came with food. Before, Stella would tell her to eat whatever she wanted and just make sure she rested. But now she was saying, "Mimi, stop eating like this too. If you eat too much, the baby will be too big and delivery will be hard. Me, I don't have money for any CS, so..." Sometimes she would even lock the fridge and carry the key in her handbag, saying it was for her own good. Whenever Mimi tried to remind her about the 5 million naira and the furnished apartments, Stella's answers were slippery. And Mimi started realizing that the Stella of months ago was disappearing. What was left was a woman snapping over small things and avoiding any talk of promises. But she still held on. She told herself to just deliver the baby, then collect the money and apartment. One morning, Stella walked into her room without knocking, and she said to her, "Pack your things, we are traveling." "Traveling?" Mimi asked. "Don't ask me too many questions. Just pack. We are going outside this nation today." Mimi's eyes lit up because she had never been on a plane before. In her mind, maybe this was part of the queen's treatment Stella had promised. But in truth, Stella wasn't doing it for her comfort. By now, Mimi's pregnancy was almost 8 months, and Stella knew that sharp-eyed people in Lagos could easily put 2 and 2 together. So to protect her life, she decided to have the baby outside the country. She did it in such a way that they got to the airport differently, and she was in the business class, while Mimi the economy. There was no loophole anywhere for anyone to suspect. The country they went to was so cold that Mimi had to wear 3 sweaters just to sleep. They stayed in a small serviced apartment Stella paid for in advance, and when Mimi thought she would finally be treated like royalty, it was still the same story all over again. Stella spent her days editing old photos of herself in the fake bomb, posting them with captions like, "Counting down the weeks, can't wait to meet my angel." Her blood life wasn't as sweet as Mimi had imagined because she had no friends and no one to talk to except Stella, and Stella on her part was always on either her phone or laptop. Eventually, she gave birth and Stella had everything under control. 1 month later, she got a return ticket only for Mimi and came back 3 days later, walking through the airport like a queen, carrying the baby in her arms. People who recognized her whispered, "That's Stella, the business mogul. She had her baby abroad." 3 months passed. Mimi kept waiting for Stella to bring up the apartment and 5 million naira. Instead, Stella started talking about how the economy is hard for everyone. One afternoon, she called Mimi and said, I've been thinking, you know that things have changed since I made that promise. This economy is so bad and it is biting me too. You know how the dollar rate is now, right? My dear, I don't think I can do the 5 million and the apartments anymore. Auntie, but you promised me that. Stella did not allow her to finish her statement. Yes, I did, but life happened. I can only give you 50,000 naira to start your life. At least it is something. Mimi's heart pounded. 50,000 naira after everything? After carrying a child for 9 months, living in hiding and enduring all that came with the pregnancy? She looked at the baby sleeping in the cot and felt tears sting her eyes. She had risked her health, her comfort and even her freedom for this woman's plan, and now Stella was tossing her aside like an old dress. Guess what? Minnie didn't argue. She simply said, "Okay, auntie," and walked away because in her mind she was already planning her next move that would make Stella's perfect Instagram life crumble in front of the whole world. She didn't sleep that night. Her mind was replaying every moment from the very first day Stella made the offer to the cold mornings abroad when she wished she could go home. Her phone buzzed beside her. It was a notification from Instagram. Another post from Stella. This time, it was a professional photo shoot with the baby in her arms, captioned, "Everything I went through was worth it. A mother's love is unmatched." Minnie sat up. Her hands were shaking but not from fear. She opened her own Instagram account which had been quiet for months and began typing. Her first post was a simple photo. A blurry picture of a hospital wristband from abroad with a caption that read, "My truth will shock you all." It caught people's attention immediately and comments rolled in. Minnie didn't stop there. The next day, she contacted the Lagos agent through the help of someone to help her look for an apartment on the mainland. She went through all the stage of Lagos house agent palaver in the secrets and paid with the money she had saved. She started packing her things silently too and was of the best behavior, which made Stella never to suspect anything. One day, as Stella went for her influencing job, she quickly ordered an Uber, packed her baby things and disappeared to her new apartment. That very day, she went live. She said everything. How Stella had approached her with promises of riches. How she carried the pregnancy while Stella wore a fake bomb and collected sympathy online. How they traveled abroad so no one would find out. So how after everything, Stella offered her just 50,000 naira. Minnie didn't just talk. She showed proofs, and within minutes, clips of her live video were everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, even gossip blogs with captivating headlines like "Lucky Big Girl's fake pregnancy exposed by her maid." Brands started unfollowing Stella and immediately started deleting her sponsored posts, and angry onliners flooded her page with comments like, "Shame on you, slay queen with empty promises and empty womb. Fake life no go buy you there." The scandal refused to die down. Every day, Mimi's video was being reshared, and this made Stella so angry that she vowed to fight back. Within weeks, the matter landed in court. Mimi's lawyer argued that Stella had broken her promises and emotionally abused the real mother of the child. Stella's lawyer tried to spin it as a mutual agreement gone wrong, but the evidence Mimi provided, especially the video of Stella adjusting her fake bulb, made the whole courtroom gasp. One judge even removed his glasses, rubbed his eyes and muttered, "In all my years, I have never seen something like this." Outside the courts, reporters warned Stella, "Did you fake your pregnancy? Why didn't you pay her as promised?" She kept her head down, hiding behind dark glasses. On social media, it was worse. Skit makers were acting out her story with exaggerated bombs. Even her old friends stopped picking her calls because nobody wanted to be associated with the scandal. In the end, the court ruled in Mimi's favor. She still had the baby and compensation for emotional and physical distress. She used part of the money to furnish her apartment, fulfill her promise by bringing her mother to Lagos, and then invested into business. As for Stella, her businesses took a hit. Brands dropped her and her once vibrant page was now a ghost town. Whenever she posted anything, the only comments she got were reminders of what had happened. She stopped going out to events because people would point, whisper, and laugh. And so, the woman who once said she would never kneel for any man found herself brought down very low, not by a man, but by her own greed and pride. Hey, Africa Tales by Calmo Tribe, how are you all doing? For me, I am doing just fine. Before I leave today, I would like to say this. If you want to do something in this life, I beg you in the name of God, do it right. Don't allow greed to sit on your shoulder and whisper lies to you, especially when you have a lot to lose. Stella's plan could have been done the right way. She could have honored her promise, kept the arrangement private, and walked away with her image intact. But she let greed, pride, and the false belief that she was untouchable guide her steps, and it cost her everything. In life, one wrong decision mixed with greed can destroy years of hard work, your reputation, and the respect people have for you. Always remember this. When trust breaks, it really heals. So whether it is business, relationships, or family, keep your word. Protect your integrity like it's the only thing you own, because one day it might just be the only thing you have left. Now, I want to hear from you, dear Karma Tribe. If you were in Mimi's shoes, would you have walked away quietly or exposed everything like she did? Drop your answers for me in the comments and I'll be responding to everyone like I usually do. Like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not, and until I bring another interesting story your way, it's a goodbye from here, and God bless you.